A backstage pass to Liz Fair? Righteous! That is like so totally in the pocket. She is a goddess.
I can't believe I'm actually talking to you guys.
Me neither.
So, you into Pearl Jam?
Hardly. Meat puppets rule.
You cubs wouldn't know good music if it stung you on the nose.
Yeah? And what you consider good music? The bare necessities?
Hey everyone, it's Jonathan, and welcome to potentially one of the most random podcasts I've ever done, because today we're talking about something that absolutely none of us had heard of, and a movie that there really is almost no information about anywhere online. Today I'm joined by Jenna and Eli, and we are talking about Goldilocks and the Three Bears. I found this one because I'm doing a series on fairy tales featuring kids lost in the woods, and I wanted at least one movie of each of the famous fairy tale children who gets lost in the woods, and I was coming up with absolutely nothing for Goldilocks and the Three Bears. There are plenty of famous cartoons featuring these characters, one-off episodes of shows featuring Goldilocks. Goldilocks and the Three Bears feature as characters in other stories a lot, but as far as a film goes, finding something fully dedicated to this fairy tale and this fairy tale alone, I was coming up with nothing, until I stumbled upon this film on YouTube. Goldilocks and the Three Bears is a 1995 live-action adaptation of this fairy tale set in modern day. It tells the original fairy tale story pretty faithfully, but then fills out the rest of the movie with a bonkers environmental tale featuring a sad orphan, corrupt business people, attempted murder, and cuddly talking animals, potentially made of taxidermy and or bad CGI, depending on which scene you're watching. This movie was kind of bonkers, and I am so glad I discovered it because the three of us had so much fun talking about it and trying to unravel the mystery of the origins of this film, because as far as we could find, there is so little information available that this film almost may as well not exist. So had either of you guys heard about this Goldilocks movie? Because I had never heard of this thing until I started looking for a Goldilocks movie. Because I wanted
heard of it.
One movie of each for this series, since it was going to be three different stories. I was like, there's not a whole lot of strictly Goldilocks media other than like episodes of shorter cartoons. So I found this movie and I was like, what is this? This feels like something that I should have known about, because it's like, it was 1995, like right in the middle of when I would be watching movies like this, but I had never heard of this.
Well, I never heard of it either. So, like, I think, and all three of us have never heard of this.
Never heard of it, yeah. Honestly, Jonathan, when you sent me the link to this, I didn't look at it. I was just like, yeah, obscure 90s movies, kids movie. I love that stuff. And then I clicked on it. I was like, what the heck is this? I've literally never heard, and it is kind of crazy. So you think somebody would have talked, because at some point, internet reviews became a big thing, right? And like crazy movies get known, but this has never been talked about. Apparently, I've never heard anyone talk about it.
And yeah, and with a lot of these obscure movies that I find, like they'll have like hundreds of thousands of views, and then you'll read all the comments like, "Oh, this is my favorite movie as a kid." This had a decent number of views, but the weird thing is one of the main comments that I kept seeing was, "I got this movie in a Happy Meal." And I'm like, what? When did McDonald's give away VHS tapes? I don't remember this. But multiple people were saying that.
I got the McDonald's animation movies and Happy Meals, not this.
Yeah. No wonder I never saw this. But no.
I don't know if it was a McDonald's exclusive thing or not. I mean, if it is, that would explain why it's so obscure, but still, that is a very random thing to give away in a Happy Meal. I did not know that they'd ever done that.
Yeah, no, me neither. But it's interesting because, like, I've never seen this and I've never heard of this until now, but this reminds me so much of the kinds of movies that I did watch when I was a kid in the 90s, because
I thought
there
the
are so
same
many
thing.
Yes, this movie's vibe is so familiar to me. Like family film from the 90s, you can absolutely tell.
Mm-hmm.
That's it, though. I think it did remind me of other 90s, like, family films. But it also felt different to me as well. I don't know, it felt like I was a little bit confused on who it was trying to be targeting with the film. I don't know, That's my opinion. Like, I thought some bits were really boring for kids, but then like other bits were like, oh, an adult would never be interested in this either. So it's
Yeah.
I do sort of understand that vibe actually that you're talking about because there were things about it that seemed like they were it was kind of like mixed appeal and what they were going for, and it was sort of like one moment in the film could be completely different from another moment.
yeah, like
So yeah.
it kind of felt like they were trying to have their cake and eat it too, but it just didn't blend together very well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I feel like other '90s family-friendly films do that blend better. But yeah, I mean, it still has that '90s vibe. I kind of miss that vibe in movie making.
Mm-hmm.
I do kind of miss it too,
Yeah.
When it first started, I was thinking to myself, if I had seen this when I was really little, this would have been a favorite movie. I would have loved this.
yeah. Yeah.
But then halfway through, I started getting bored.
I probably would have given the tape away to someone else.
I think it comes back to what you were saying about it being like two different vibes together, because even though I had that thought at the beginning, I did get bored at multiple points through this, and I was like, would I have liked this as a kid? I would have liked parts of it as a kid for sure, but parts of it, I don't know, it didn't seem very targeted towards kids, but it was also a very kid-oriented script, and that it was very simple so that kids could
Yeah.
understand what was going on. But they didn't seem to make too much of an effort to make it like a true family film, like adults can watch it and get as much enjoyment as the kids out of it.
Well, at the same time, there were things about this that were surprisingly good and well directed and kind of well written.
The one thing that stands out to me that was like really good, at least to me, I don't know if anybody else would have found this good, but like the introduction of the villains, the way the camera was moving through the offices, I really liked that.
Uh,
Because you could tell that the cameraman was walking backwards to get the shot of the two bickering villains going to meet with their boss, and just the camera angles as it was like weaving back and forth. I don't know. It could have been a mistake, but it also could have been on purpose. And if it was on purpose, I really liked it.
There was actually a lot of moments where I thought this is really well shot, and then but it was weird because so there'd be like, maybe I'd even dare I say great cinematography at some points, but then on the opposite end, there'd be a shot that just looked horrible sometimes, especially of the animals. Sometimes, like it was like a different camera almost. It just looked horrendous.
Depending on the animal, some of them were puppets, but then towards the end, the bears were, or at least one bear was CGI, and that was like the worst. It almost looked monstrous, and I hated when the bear turned to CGI.
Yeah. But so it's like it was very mixed in that, but I will say like somebody knew what they were doing with the camera, but it wasn't consistent throughout the whole film. I don't know, maybe it's because they did have some live animals that for some reason they couldn't like uphold that when they were shooting the animals or something. Possibly that's it. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I was surprised that they used live animals, like live
I
bears
think that
for
wasn't
this.
a good decision personally.
No, probably not, and I don't think that they would do that today. When I first found this movie, it was on YouTube, so I was like scrubbing through the timeline. I was like, this is going to be like a way different. Like I didn't see the bears at first, and I was like, is this even an actual version of Goldilocks? And I thought it was just going to be bears like in the woods, like maybe they were like rescuing bears or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
And so watching through, it was like, okay, it is the story of Goldilocks, and these bears talk, but it's more. They don't even like do too much to worry about like matching mouth movements and stuff.
Yeah.
Except towards the end when they turn one to CGI so it can address a crowd, and it was very odd.
Yeah. And also it was like surprising I will say first that it is a very mixed movie. I said there are things about it that I thought were surprisingly good. There were also a lot of things that were surprisingly loud, not surprisingly lousy. I didn't really have an expectation about this. I didn't know if it was going to be good or if it was going to be
Yeah,
bad.
the bar was on the ground for me. Like it could
Yeah,
go either way.
exactly. It was on the ground for me too, and that's exactly why the good things about it was sort of surprised me. But it was um, this was completely different. Even though I had no idea what this was going to be before I watched it, this was completely different from what I was expecting because, like, I knew it was Goldilocks and Three Bears adaptation. I was surprised that it was like a modern take on it that actually took place in the 90s. I
Hmm.
was not expecting that.
I was not to be okay. So there were using the bar. There were points where it exceeded my expectations in some areas, and then some points where it dug under the ground. Um,
Mhm.
I think for one thing, I think it overcomplicates the story of Goldilocks personally.
Yes.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, I agree. I agree.
yeah, I feel like there's a way they could have done the story even simpler, but then you have all these things going on. That said, though, like if you were to ask me to do a kind of story like this, maybe I would do similar stuff, but I think I would focus more on Goldilocks and like the child perspective. But
Hmm.
I think you're gonna lose adults either way, so you might as well just make it a kids movie.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
Take out the scenes with the adults talking about boring stuff that nobody else cares about. There's this one point where I almost felt uncomfortable because it was like the uncle character and the lady like kissing, and they actually had maybe a little too much chemistry. And I was like, my child self is screaming right now. Why do I need to see this? Um,
uh, yeah.
um, I think this movie would have done a lot better if it just like acknowledged like we are a kids movie and we want to have an environmental message, so let's focus on Goldilocks.
Yeah.
Or like at some point Goldilocks and what's his name, Spike, have a friendship,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and I think we actually didn't see that much of that. I also think this movie like spends way too much on build up.
Yes.
I
Hmm.
think they could have like had her meet Spike earlier
Yeah.
and then become friends earlier and be a bit more about their friendship as well.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
Definitely. At about the
yeah.
halfway point of the movie, we start actually getting into the Goldilocks story. And up until that point, I was like, are we even going to
Is this
get to
Goldilocks?
Goldilocks? Like, yes, her
Yeah,
name is Goldie. Her full name is Goldie Lochner, which I thought was kind of clever.
it
But
is
we
clever.
don't really get the story of Goldilocks until she randomly decides to break into the bear's home, which was, it almost seemed out of character for her since we'd spent like 40 minutes with her. And I mean, this is another orphan story. So she's not a happy child.
Yeah.
It just seemed strange that she just randomly decides to break into this house and start eating this random food that she finds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yes, this is what needs to happen for this story, but also you've set up this character in such a way that I don't believe that the character as we know her would have done this.
Yeah,
I
that
agree with you.
that was poorly done. I thought. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They probably should have done a bit more character development in terms of why would she do this? How could we set this up so she would do that?
Hmm.
And I don't think they did that. So yeah, I agree.
I agree with Jenna that
Yeah.
if they went more with the like Coraline angle and made it sort of more focused on her instead of doing these side stories with the adults, I thought the movie would have benefited from that because it would have felt more focused and more like they knew what they were doing.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything with the adults, I think, just fully overcomplicated the movie. I don't think we needed that.
It almost kind of felt like two scripts smashed together.
It did. It felt like they were
Yeah.
trying to do a Home Alone riff, especially towards the end.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely. When did Home Alone come out? Like a couple of years before this?
I want to say 90 or 91. I'm not
It was around
100%
there.
sure. But it
Early
was
Yeah,
90s.
definitely before
development would have
this.
been right afterwards, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all know how big a hit Home Alone was, so of course they would copy it.
Hmm.
Yeah. The first one was 1990. What was the second one? 1992.
And
Yeah.
I feel like
We're
after
not going to
that point,
acknowledge the third one or the fourth one or the fifth one.
I don't think I've seen any of those.
Right.
Don't. But but regardless, definitely that does kind of make sense in terms of when this script would have been developed. I feel like 95 might have been a bit late to cash in on that, but it's close enough. It was
feel
a
like-
trend at the time.
Yeah, for most of the 90s, I feel like it was a trope in kids' movies to have really cartoonishly evil adults just getting wrecked by rambunctious children. So this just kind of fits into that trope.
Yeah. Yes, the slapstick happening to like these like cartoonishly evil villains thing was kind of just like an influence that spread from Home Alone for years to come. Like even like that was even happening in the live action 101 Dalmatians. That one came out a
Yes.
year after this.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will. Oh my gosh, it's already been a few days since I watched this, and I'm already forgetting. Did I forget? Like, okay, so like there was like the two villain sidekicks who were the ones getting the brunt of the slapstick, right?
Mhm. Yeah.
And the woman actress was maybe a little too into it, and
She was,
'cause I was like-
she really sold her part.
yeah, I was like, lady, what is your motivation? You know, like it doesn't even make sense at this point. What do you
No.
think is going to happen? You grab her, you're going to kill her?
Yeah.
She's probably, you think you murdered her uncle, so you're going to grab her and kill her? Huh? You know?
That's
Kinda
why,
dark.
like, they were already cartoonishly evil villains, but after that point, this was just a full-on cartoon with those villains.
Yeah, it jumps the shark. But I think, but that's kind of where the disconnect, I think, for the two narratives really collides, because at this, I feel even though the adults, the villains were like a little cartoonish from the beginning, but it just fully like children's cartoon on from that point. So it would have just made more sense as a child's narrative. But it is what it is. I would also entirely take out the animal storytelling.
Yes.
Frankly, I think it's
really?
random and dumb, and I don't think it adds to the story at all. And I think some of the animals make me think they're so still that I think they might be dead. And I just,
You were not won over by their cuteness at all.
no, I wasn't. And I also, I'm not, I'm not a bunny owner, but I do know enough that when bunnies are really still like that, they're not comfortable.
Oh.
And they're probably a little scared. I'm not going to say I'm an expert, but that's just like from what I know. So like at some points when the bunnies were just standing still, and they even had some dialogue, "Who could stand still the longest?" or something, and I was just like, "Shut the hell up!"
I mean, those kids.
Those bunnies are terrified. Like, stop it.
I wasn't sure if some of them were puppets, because the raccoon was definitely a puppet, and the things that were
Yeah, I
outside
thought the
looking
raccoon
in,
was like an
the
animatronic.
ferret and whatever, those are all puppets. I didn't know if any of the bunnies were puppets too.
Oh, the bunnies were real. I could tell.
Yeah.
But it's like,
blended.
why?
That is a good question. Why would they? Well, I was thinking why with the bears even more. Like live bears next to that child. Like I was worried almost watching this.
Yeah, the bears were a little worrisome. I have to admit. Like, I assume they were trained.
Yeah, me too. Me too. They must have been.
Yeah. But like, it is a bit. Do we have to? You have man in bear suit right there. Do that. Why risk it?
Yeah, they probably felt like it was too cheesy and it wouldn't age well and nobody would want to watch it, but I think
But,
that
I mean, that's already the
they got
case.
that with what they made, so...
Yeah.
I mean, they did that with. Frankly, I thought the animal storytelling looked more aged because of like
yeah.
the puppetry, animatronic puppetry of the raccoon character.
Yeah.
And also, the whole time, whenever you think weird of the movie would happen, that was like so like weird, human or adult, I'd be like, I wonder what the baby animals are thinking right now. Like,
Yeah.
and then
I was
they
thinking-
made out.
Yeah, it's like I was thinking about that. Like, what was the raccoon saying during that narration? And then the corporate guy was like chasing the girl, and he hit him in the head with a rock, and like all of that was like, this must sound weird to these bunny children hearing all this.
And then the two older men, well, one older than the other, had, just sat by the campfire talking about philosophy or something. I don't remember what they're talking about. And I was
Yeah,
like, so even kids would be interested to see what would the animal kids think.
exactly. One thing I will say about the puppetry, like I'm so spoiled by Jim Henson stuff that like I was like totally unimpressed by these puppets. These are not like I've seen better, so that took me out. But also, like, what was I gonna say?
Well, while you're thinking about, I was going to say at the very beginning, the very first note that I wrote as I was starting to take notes watching this movie, I said, I can already tell I'm not going to love this just from the janky magic raccoon.
Yeah.
He has problems. He should probably see a janky animal therapist.
Was there anybody in this movie that you guys recognized?
No.
Yeah, no, I can't think of anybody.
I would have recognized one voice, even if I hadn't looked it up. The father bear, Bruno, was voiced by Ed Asner.
Oh yeah, right.
I would have recognized him. And then I didn't recognize him just by listening, but the baby bear, Spike, was voiced by David Alan Grier.
Yeah.
He did not sound young enough.
No.
I knew the person voicing the baby bear wasn't a child, that was for sure.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, I saw their names in the credits. I wouldn't have recognized them without seeing those names in the credits, though.
And I feel like I recognized this name, but I didn't really see much on her IMDb that I recognized. But the mother bear, Ursula, was voiced by Rita Rudner.
Oh yeah, I heard about her. I don't know much about her. I know she's a comedian, that's all.
And then the dad, I'm not dad, I mean, she calls him dad by the end, but the uncle, Hal, was Dwyer Brown. When it started, I was like, I feel like he looks familiar. So I looked him up. He had a small but important role in Field of Dreams, which I watched a few months ago. We recorded an episode for the podcast, a different podcast that has not yet come out, but that is why I recognized him. But he doesn't have a ton of acting credits. So it's interesting that he's shown up twice for me within a few months, and he doesn't have a very long IMDb page.
Yeah. That is kind of strange. Oh, actually, I just remembered what I was going to say. I didn't think about this while I was watching this. I just thought of this now, but like it's interesting that the movie Babe, I think Babe came out the same year as this. And that movie sort of similar because that movie sort of blended animatronics and live animals and CG mouths, I think. And it was very similar to the way they handled this, only I thought they handled it in Babe a lot better than they handled it in this.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought like it's interesting that I just thought of that because it's like the visual effects are sort of like superior. Everything about Babe was superior. That's a great movie, by the way.
That came out the same year. I need to rewatch Babe. It's been a while.
Yeah, I watched that like a few months ago and like just to revisit it for it because I think it was because it was like for like an anniversary. I watched it the day it came out, like years back. And and that was a great movie. This is sort of like Babe gone wrong, I feel like. That's what I sort of think of this like that. It's like how if you were a poor director or bad at storytelling, no offense to the people making this, then that's sort of like what could have happened to Babe. Because it's so similar and it came out the exact same year.
That's an interesting comparison. I haven't seen Babe in forever, so I didn't even think about that, but you're right. Yeah. The effects in Babe are a lot more believable than the effects in this movie.
Yeah.
You think they saw Babe and quick, we need some animals?
Oh, maybe
to be telling the story?
I don't know.
I don't know how rushed the production of this was. Maybe they did see Babe.
I don't know what the time period is. That would have been a really tight turnaround. You
It
might have
would
heard
be.
about Babe.
I kind of doubt it, but only because my thought with why they might have included the animals was they were trying to hit a certain runtime and the animals felt like they padded for time.
Hmm.
Because
Right.
It was
the
kind of a
animals kept
long movie.
interrupting. It's not that long, but the animals kept interrupting, and I bet if you take it out, it's at least 10 minutes.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, that is interesting observation. Yeah, because like the animal narration, I didn't think like added that much to it. Like same as like what Jenna said, it was like not. I was not like impressed that much with that. So it does sort of seem like something like that could have been there for padding. But
Hmm.
although like we said, like I have no idea where this movie came from or why it got made or what or who decided to produce it. I know nothing about the backstory of this.
Yeah, there's not a whole lot available online to tell me where this came from, because it
Yeah,
wasn't like a
I've
huge
actually like
studio.
tried to look myself, and there's like nothing.
Yeah.
I can't even get a confirmation that it was given with Happy Meals.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the only reason I knew that was because I saw multiple people in the YouTube comments talking about getting this with a Happy Meal.
Right. And I've seen a lot of movies from the 90s that were obscure that I feel like I was the only one who saw this and I never see anyone else talk about it. I've seen stuff like that before that I could talk about. And so I guess this is just one of those.
It
Only I
doesn't
didn't
even have
see
a
it.
release date online.
The Goldilocks movie doesn't have a release date online.
Yeah, somebody found the video release date in Japan, of all things,
Oh,
December 6th,
interesting.
1996. But there's no,
Uh,
like, when this was theatrically released or even a video release, because part of me is like, this probably wasn't theatrically released. I bet it was a home release. And
it felt like a home release.
it's weird because it feels more like it has more budget than a usual home release, but it doesn't seem like it would have been theatrically released. I'm not finding anything.
I When I watched this, it felt like a TV like Hallmark movie or something. It felt
Yeah.
Yeah.
that was the vibe I got. I was thinking, is that what this is? It's like a cable TV movie, but like no, yeah, like I can't even figure that out.
I'm just getting the year 1995.
That's all we got. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe it was just given away in Happy Meals, and
Well,
that's
this
why
one
it's so
Maybe.
says
obscure.
January 1st, but I feel like that's just a default. That's just like 1995. We'll just say January 1st.
I've seen people use January 1st as the default before, so I don't trust that.
Yeah. How did you find this, Jonathan?
I was
Yeah, where
just
did you?
Googling Goldilocks and the Three Bears movie versions. Like, because I wanted one, because I'm doing Hansel and Gretel, Goldilocks, and Little Red Riding Hood, and I'm doing all three at once, and I wanted at least one movie of each to talk about for this series before I move on to something else. And the only movie so far that I have found was this, and it just came up in a Google search because it was available on YouTube.
How did the person on YouTube find this?
I don't
That's what
know.
I
The
wanted
channel
to
has only uploaded this, and the channel's name is Goldie Lochner.
See,
They're
I'm
like,
kind
they're like, I grew up with this film. I'm its only fan.
I mean, good on them for like probably being the only person who has it in access to
Good for
upload it.
you.
Yeah, like
That
I'm
makes
all
sense.
for like preserving lost media, so that's
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, otherwise, I don't know where this came from or how to watch it legitimately because it's not on streaming services. There's just not a whole lot available to read about this movie. All I had to go off of was the IMDb page, which is not much, and YouTube comments.
Yeah, and also it's kind of like just basic reaction to the movie in general, it's kind of a generic film, really. So it's
Hmm.
not like there's that much about it that's memorable or like worth checking out. It's like if you watch it, it's kind of just like this is like a very generic 90s family film. And so I'm not surprised that people were like clamoring to like keep this alive and like known. So I'm not surprised that it's obscure. But yeah, it is interesting when you find things that sort of like the internet sort of just passed by, like
Hmm.
that were just so obscure that no one even thought to like upload any info about it, not even a Wikipedia page.
I
Yeah.
found a, yeah, it does have a wiki page. I found a sorry, I don't normally bring this up, but I found a VHS tape listing on eBay. And what I find interesting is that you know how most VHS tapes on the back would have like a review blurb, like fantastic, da 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 da. You know,
Right.
one of my favorite child's film growing up was Princess and the Goblin, which was very panned by critics, but kids loved it, so they put reviews by kids on the back instead, and what hit
Ah,
reviews were, you know,
good.
because they didn't have good reviews from adults.
Which is
um,
smart.
That's
yeah, which is
clever.
smart. Hey, it worked. My boyfriend also saw that movie. He also loved it. So like, you know, whatever. But
Yeah.
this one has nothing. Instead, it has a parent's guide. You may want to discuss the following with your family. Number one, what is so special about the forest and the bears? How did Goldilocks help to save them? Number two, why did Goldilocks at first have a difficult time accepting her Uncle Hal? What led her to later feel differently about him? How did Hal learn to be a father to Goldie? Number three, why would Joshua Crane want to hurt the forest? What would make him change his mind? Number four, why is it important to preserve nature? What can you do to help maintain our natural environment? And number five, oh wait, that was four. Number five, what do you most enjoy about being in nature? And I'm like, are you an educational movie? Is
That's what
that
I'm
why no one's
wondering.
heard of you?
I mean, like the environmental message, like that's a big clue to a possibility.
Yeah, but it also tells me I don't think this had a wide release at all, which makes sense with the lack of information. So they
Yeah.
like there was no reviews to put out.
Well, especially if it was intended to be an educational movie, that would kind of also explain that because those things are really hard to find. Like those, and like because people don't usually care about those ones.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, you're right. A lot of educational movies do end up kind of flying under the radar because, well, part of it is like lack of information, but yeah.
Well, yeah, but also like people have a little bit less respect for those ones because it's like edutainment is like a bad word.
But it doesn't feel like it's trying to be an educational movie. I do think there's strong environmental messaging, but I don't feel like it's very educational,
I,
personally.
I, I don't think it is either, but I don't know how it was sold. Maybe it was
Yeah,
sold like that, and I had no idea because obviously the information is like very like non-existent.
yeah. Very, very interesting. I don't know. Now I'm
Yeah,
kind of like, I'm interested now.
kind of. I mean, I watched the whole movie. Now it's kind of
Yeah,
now
well,
I'm just
I'm
sort of
interested in like why this was made. Why is it so obscure?
yeah. I mean, I'm not gonna stay up all night wondering about it, but it is. I'm sort of curious if the information is out there. I would like to know. Now I would.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably about 2 months before I end up releasing this, so if anybody finds anything, we can come back and record a follow-up before the episode goes out. But that seems
We'll see what
unlikely.
happens. I don't feel like there's gonna be a lot of luck looking at this.
Yeah,
So,
yeah,
but yeah, very, very interesting.
yeah. I'm interested if we can find it, but I'm very doubtful.
I doubt it.
Yeah, I don't know. I Googled and Googled and didn't find much of anything, so
What if I put in Santa Monica? Because it was probably made by Santa Monica Pictures. Oh yeah. So on behalf of the state of California, I'm sorry for this movie. 'Cause it
Uh,
looks like it was filmed in California.
I wouldn't be surprised. I live in California,
Okay, we can both apologize.
so I guess they're apologizing to me. I guess.
Yeah. No, doesn't seem to be anything. Times like this, I wish I had like a archive subscription or something for newspapers.
yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess if anybody's listening and they know something, they can leave it in the comments and we'll know then. But other than that, I don't know how else we could find out more information about this because there's, like we said, information is very scarce.
If I cared more, I would like send interview requests to people involved in this movie, but I don't care that enough. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, me
Yeah,
neither.
yeah.
Yeah. See, that's the problem.
Did you say what the production company was that made this? Do they have information on that?
It was Mama Papa Baby Productions, which kind of tells me this is the only thing they probably made.
When you click that, that's the only thing that comes up. So
Mama,
Yeah.
Papa, Baby production. It does sound like the only thing they made is this. Like,
But also
geez.
Santa Monica Pictures, which they
Yeah,
don't
Santa
have
which I've
much for
never
that
heard of.
either.
Santa Monica Picture. I never heard of that. They distributed this, I guess.
That was one of the production companies listed on IMDb, but if you click on it, there's only 4 movies.
Oh, okay. What did like? Is there anything interesting about those 4 movies, or are they just like what? What is this? What does that say?
It's this one called Journey from the Heart, which the tagline underneath says Grandma Lee tours the California wilderness in a motorhome with her Americanized family, teaches them Tai Chi and the ancient Chinese way to deal with modern American life.
Oh,
And then
Okay.
that was 99. Another in 99 says A Force More Powerful. It says explores how nonviolent resistance defeated oppression worldwide. Part 1 covers India, Nashville, and South Africa, translated into 12 plus languages. It's inspired millions from Burma to Cuba to Belarus. And then the 4th one is from 2009, a big gap.
yeah.
Aiden 5. Set in a futuristic city, Aiden 5 chronicles the journey of one detective who must unravel the mystery behind the serial killings of his own clones. So 4 wildly different movies.
Yeah. That last one. That last one especially. Like, yeah. So yeah, just weird, obscure production companies, like with a big gap in the middle. Like, yeah, this sounds like some really low budget indie studio.
Yeah,
Did you say the Magic Forest?
that wasn't listed on IMDb when you click the
Because I
name.
found an article from Variety in the 90s. I lost the date. And it says the Magic Forest being developed by Santa Monica Pictures. What's the original date for this? 1995. That might. I'm like, is that Goldilocks? Before they named it Goldilocks?
Maybe that's an alternate title.
Could be an alternate title.
I guess we didn't mention the forest is supposedly magical and the bears are magical, and they're
Yeah.
the last 3 magical bears
Oh yeah, this is
in
probably already
existence.
confusing if you haven't seen the movie.
I
To be
think
honest,
that
I feel like you kind of have to see this movie
yeah,
to really understand it.
yeah. I have a feeling that people aren't going to listen to this unless they have watched this movie, but who knows? You know, it's a weird
Pause
movie.
this and go watch the movie after we spoiled everything. Um,
I mean,
but yeah, so it might have originally been called the Magic Forest, because that's like the month before. I mean, not the month before, but it's the same year. So
Uh-huh.
that's
yeah.
interesting timing.
I am assuming that could be the working title. Maybe they changed it, or like if not, a canceled movie.
Considering the gear and that they are in a Magic Forest and it's the same production company, I don't know.
Well, that's a big clue. Like that's why
Yeah.
I'm leaning towards it's probably the same movie.
Yeah, but interesting that they would even have a name like that.
You would think it would start out as a Three Bears adaptation. I thought like that would be kind of like the starting point of the production. I would assume, so that would be kind of surprising if there was a
Maybe they
title.
thought like it was different enough at some point to give its own name, but then they're like, you know what, never mind. People aren't gonna watch that.
Maybe that was it.
Goldilocks.
Yeah, that could be.
Let's see if anything with the Magic Forest comes up. I doubt it. But well, there we go. There's a clue. Working title.
The Magic Forest sounds like the title of something that Don Bluth would have made in the 90s.
Magic Force. If it would be anything like Don Bluth's other movies, I probably wouldn't have liked it. Like, no, and Don Bluth's films in the '90s, I have mixed feelings about. He has some stuff that's good, but not to trash him. But yeah, no, I'm very mixed on.
Sorry, I just found something very strange. There was a court case involving Santa Monica Pictures. I'm sorry, I'm on the trail.
I'm interested. Well, as soon as you said court case, I got interested. Like, I wonder what happened.
Yeah, I'm not sure. It says Peter Levin versus Santa Monica Studios, and I was like, well, studios, that's different. But no, but in the defendants, it says Santa Monica Pictures. Also, Magic Forest Productions. And I'm like, that's how I found this. But that was in 2000. But maybe something happened around this time, and that's what
Maybe
this.
that.
But that
They,
there's no information.
Maybe that explains the gap. Who knows?
Yeah. I don't know. Something fell apart. That might explain why nothing happened with this movie. Something
Yeah.
happened.
This says a lot of mysterious stuff about this movie because it's like it's unexplained, and now we're talking court cases and we're talking gaps, and it's like it's super weird.
But I'm not seeing anything about what the court case was about. It was just dismissed at some point. Well, there we go. That's I think
Yeah,
that's all I'm going to be able to find at this point.
yeah,
All right, moving
Well,
on.
that's more than I found.
Yeah,
yeah. Who knows? That might be all we ever get for the rest of our lives. Who knows? Maybe that's all.
Well, I don't know if there was anything very specific that you guys wanted to talk about in the movie, but for me, I feel like I just have to mention that I loved where her uncle lived. Like she seemed to hate all the like geodesic domes in the forest, but I
Hmm.
was like, if somebody had brought me there and said we were gonna live there, I would think that that is the coolest thing ever when I was a kid.
Ah,
I hated
like
it personally, but I would
like
be Goldie, I guess.
yeah, you'd be the Goldie in that situation.
Yeah.
But Jonathan, even if there were bears there, would you still like it?
I wouldn't have liked the bears, but I would have felt safe inside the things because they didn't look like bears could get into them very easily.
Yeah, they must not have been able to. Otherwise, they wouldn't be out there. I'm sure.
I feel like they could have used some more stuff inside those domes, but just the domes itself, I love the look of them. They're so weird. I love weird homes, especially ones that are like in the middle of nowhere. It just kind of looks alien.
Uh,
I don't know. That's just a weird little thing that I think is cool.
did you ever live in a weird home in real life?
No. I used to imagine living in weird, like when I was a kid, I wanted to live, I guess I had never seen Lord of the Rings, but I feel like I almost wanted to live in what would have been a hobbit hole, like a home that
Uh,
was almost completely underground, just save for like one door that you found that was like almost hidden. I thought the idea of like a hidden home in the woods just seemed like such a cool idea.
I could understand that. That's a quaint vibe.
But there's other homes that I've seen pictures of. I'm not sure where they are. I think they were made by an artist. They're like circular, futuristic, almost alien-looking things, but they're just kind of like out in the middle of nowhere. And
Yeah.
this isn't the same, but it kind of reminded me of that. I just like the idea of having like an almost untouched forest, but there's just like one really strange building in the middle of it.
You talked about sci-fi. I did get a sci-fi vibe a little bit from the way those homes looked.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. This is not a sci-fi movie, but it just had that kind of a vibe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It reminded me of that. You know, something that I found funny about this movie was like, I probably the funniest thing about the movie to me was they literally like the baby bear. The baby bear, the way they wrote him, he talks and sort of acts like a typical teenager,
Hmm.
like kind of like an American teenager, and not and like the fact that he like talks about like music and he listens to musicians. He likes he there was a moment when he mentioned Sting and like the dad was like moonwalking and he's talking like eat your heart out Michael Jackson. It was like and there was like some pop culture references that the Bears made that I thought was ridiculous but funny that it dated the
They're
movie a lot.
magical.
They were magical bears, but
So they know pop culture despite being in the forest.
yeah,
Yeah. They had a
they know.
boombox with tapes. There, I don't remember the whole conversation, but didn't Goldilocks have a line, something about like "I prefer the meat puppets"?
Yes, he said that. Yeah, and she was like, which is like they made a meat puppets reference. Crazy.
I personally thought Goldilocks seemed kind of young to be into music the way he was,
That
but
Yeah, I was
yeah,
surprised by that too. I was like, I wasn't talking like that when I was her age.
no, that was just one of many instances where she talked like an adult was writing her.
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, that's what I kind of felt. Yeah.
Like maybe Goldilocks is meant to be older at some point. then they aged her down. Like, I don't know.
I
vibe
think
was
this is
weird.
just one of those cases where an adult was writing a kid and the adult has no experience with kids.
The
Like,
adults like kids like music, instead of Britney. When did Britney Spears take off? Actually, I don't know.
I feel like it was
Maybe
later than
Britney Spears
95.
would have been too early, too
I think
late
it
for
was
this.
late 90s, early
Yeah,
2000s.
yeah.
like I don't know who they would have gotten. Madonna was more like 80s. Britney Spears was like sort of late 90s, early 2000s, and so I don't know who would have been a
But I
good.
feel like she would have been more pop at that age.
Yeah,
uh,
I would think so. Yeah.
you know.
But
But
she
I don't
likes
know.
meat puppets, so she's not like other girls.
He's not like other girls.
I'm not like other girls. I like big puppets, and I talk to bears.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
Exactly. And also,
my
she's
bear has better musical taste than you.
yeah, like I gotta know. Yeah. Back then, that wouldn't be the first movie that focused on like an outcast who's different from other people. So like that, so I could accept that. I could get behind that maybe.
I just feel like they didn't set it up that way beforehand, so it kind of
No.
comes out of left field.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
It's just like, I thought you were a girly girl. I thought you were baby girly girl. I didn't know you were what punk. I don't know what it is.
Well,
I'm
she
not
did
into
sort
this
of.
music scene.
Well, she did sort of have like an attitude at the beginning of the movie because she was sort of like
I guess, but like her parents died. Like,
her parents died. Well, yeah.
is that attitude?
Yeah, I don't know. It was one of those things where she kind of annoyed me at the beginning, but I was trying to forgive her because her parents did just die.
Yeah, because her parents died, I sort of felt sorry for her, but like I also sort of felt bad for that uncle because she was like bad mouthing him so much.
Uh-huh.
No, he's stupid. Actually, I'm gonna hot take of the year here. Uncle Hal sucks.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Well, like, okay. He grabs her out of school, and it's like, okay, like, yeah, she needs time to grieve. Makes sense. Oh, actually, I'm just gonna plop you down in the middle of the forest with, like, no one around.
Oh, that's
Okay,
interesting.
so you're gonna, like, bond together, right? He's like, no, I have to work. And also, she's going to cook for me. And I'm just like, oh, I hate you. I hate this guy.
Oh,
The whole time they're like, isn't he hot? Isn't he great uncle material? It's like, no.
I mean, okay, so yeah, I'm gonna circle back to agreeing with you on this because I understand what you're saying, but like was sort of on his side in the beginning a little bit because like it started out he was the legal guardian. He was the legal guardian of her once her like parents died, and it was sort of like unexpected because he's so busy doing his environmental work and he was so busy with his environmental work that he had missed the parents' funeral, which she sort of was like criticizing him for. And so he was
Well,
like,
he said that no one even
I don't
told
blame him for that. Supposedly he didn't know until it was too late. Like,
yeah,
it
yeah,
is
yeah.
what it is.
No one told him about that. Yeah, yeah. He
Well,
felt
he was out of reach.
he was out of reach. He felt guilty that he missed it though.
Yeah.
And
Like, that's fair. My part though is just like, if you're not gonna be able to properly parent her and like be with her as she's grieving, then you might as well just leave her in school where at least she knows people.
yeah. Well, yeah. Another thing, he was sort of like forced to be a parent. So if he has bad experience with how to deal with these little girls, maybe I could understand the rocky transition of that. But I do agree he could have done a better job.
Like, personally, I don't know, if I was him, I would either back out of the project or like finish the project first. Personally, I just feel like dumping a grieving girl who just lost her parents in the middle of a forest with no one else to talk to and like, I'm too busy to talk to her.
Yeah.
I just think that sounds horrible. Like, that would be
Yeah.
so isolating.
No,
So, like,
it is.
Yeah,
It is.
he's no daddy to me.
Yeah, no, I understand. He absolutely could have done a better job, and that was not a good situation for her either. He could have been more sensitive. I think.
Yeah. Also, it turns out that the project was run by evil people, so like, he could have backed out.
I think all of these problems come back to the fact that the whole script just felt like a first draft.
Also, I'm gonna come in with another hot take about Daddy Hall here. He's all like, I'm designing it to be environmentally friendly, so there won't be a car park here. It will be like a sky. It's like, dude, it's still gonna get trashed. Your forest is still gonna get ruined. I've worked with people.
Yeah.
They like to ruin things. They like to throw trash everywhere. Don't pretend that's not going to happen. You need like I'm glad you're trying to minimize that, but it's still gonna happen. So screw you.
The whole environmental thing, it really felt like peak 90s movie environmentalism.
Like performative environmentalism, yeah.
Yeah, and they gave people way too much credit. Like you're saying, like having worked in the public with people, knowing what happens when humans go anywhere, there is no saving a forest that humans are going to be all over the place in. Like, it's going to get trashed. You need to plan for that fact. You need to have a lot of people to clean up after the lot of people that are coming in.
Well, I'm just like, own that you're going to ruin the forest then. If you're okay with that, just own it. I don't like when people pretend it's going to be one thing when it really isn't.
Yeah,
just be like, I don't care if it gets trashed then. I'm trying to minimize it, but like, I would, humans are going to come here. They're probably going to mess it up. I don't know. I'm that kind of person. It's like, I own what I'm doing. Or, knock on wood, I try to. But,
I have a feeling that the people who wrote the script for this movie did not think of any of this.
Yeah. Well, I mean, unless you're into, like, cleaning after human beings or dealing with the after effects, you really want to believe the best in people.
Yes.
Yeah.
One time I found a piece of trash dated, 1998 in a planter, like far back, and I was like, wow, someone threw this back here, like on purpose.
That's almost like an archaeological find at this point.
I should have kept it. I didn't, though. I threw it away, but... but really, there's no way that could have ended up where I found it organically. Someone deliberately did that. So I've found multiple instances of people deliberately trying to ruin things just like that.
I mean, I'm sure there are some people out there who like hear about the environmental movement and they think it's you don't tell me what to do, and then they litter on purpose. I'm sure there are people out there.
Yeah, I mean, humans are spiteful creatures.
They are exactly.
Yeah.
They are. Yes.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
So good thing we have these bears to put them in their place.
The magic bears will save us all.
Other forests don't have magic bears, so like screw them.
Oh, I loved when that bear gave a speech in front of all the humans. Like that was ridiculous.
Not that it like fully disturbed me, but the CGI, it just was like, get that off my screen.
The implications disturbed me personally because he was like naming all of them and saying why they go to the forest. I'm like, what have you seen?
This bear is a peeping Tom.
I was thinking,
he's a peeping Tom. Especially the two kids or teenagers. Like I was, oh no.
Like, wow, imagine if you were doing something in the woods and the bear came up to you and it said, like, I know what you did. Like, you can't do anything.
Like, oh, great. No one can do anything in the forest anymore. The bears will tell on me.
Yeah. I was just burying a dead body, and now the bear is going to, like, tell the police. Like...
Like, how did you know the magical bears? Like,
I want this movie now.
You chose the wrong magical forest.
That would be a more interesting movie. Yeah.
That would be a fascinating movie, actually. Like a crime thriller taking place in a children's movie world.
We almost could have gotten that because we had a literal attempted murder towards the end.
Yeah.
I was like, so is he dead?
It looked like he was, and they fully glossed over it. Like, that guy should have been arrested.
Definitely.
You're right, he should have been arrested.
Goldie.
he literally, and there were witnesses to that attack, by the way.
Well, that's why they go after Goldie, because they
That's what
wanted to, undescri- un, vague do something with her because she saw the murder.
Yeah,
It's
like
well,
what they were
I
gonna.
was like, he can't be dead. This is a kids movie, but I was like,
Yeah,
they
no,
think
no.
he's dead.
Yeah, like exactly. Like
But
I didn't think he was gonna die, but like Jesus.
Yeah, but the way that he came, the giant rock bludgeoning came out of nowhere. It was like this just went from 0 to 60 real fast.
Like I don't even know if I would buy that. Like would a corporate guy like be so adamant about? Was he that greedy that he wanted that money so badly that he would like murder a man with an orphan child? Like I don't know. I don't know about that.
I mean, I will
A year
say-
ago, I would have said I don't believe it, but after the last few months of the news and everything that's being
Yeah,
revealed,
maybe.
I was like, maybe I could believe this. Actually,
Yeah. Like yeah. Nowadays, I'm thinking like people have done worse.
yeah, exactly.
do you ever think? Sorry, but a little tangent. But do you ever think like, okay, as a kid, you're like, oh my god, that's so evil, and then when you're an adult, you're like, oh, like no one would be that evil. That's like cartoonishly evil. And then later, as an adult, oh no, people are that cartoonishly evil.
I've had that. I've
Yeah.
thought that before.
Yeah.
Like,
They were trying to prepare us.
I feel like I'm thinking that more and more the past few months.
oh my god.
Yeah, no, for me, it's been like the past few years. But yeah.
Yeah, true. But just the past few months,
Yeah.
it's been ramping up. It feels like.
I feel
yeah.
it's a like, what's going on now? Great.
Oh, I get more cynical by the year. Like,
yeah, by the minute.
Exactly.
Yeah. But anyway, so yeah, like, yeah, they probably would murder somebody and try to murder his kid. Yeah.
Oh my god.
But that's a little over the top, especially because he's basically, depending on everyone, not to say anything, including his lackeys. But I do believe some business people probably would tie up everything into a project like this and try to push it through, maybe without the attempted murder.
Not to go off on another tangent, but that's kind of happening in our state, in Iowa, right now. There's a company that's trying to push through a CO2 pipeline, and they're ever since I started recording various government events, it started right around the time I got the job that I got. So this has been going on for almost 5 years now. They're going through all sorts of, I think they've tied up all of their funds into trying to push like from one end of the state to the other, and it's got to go to Canada, I believe. And it is ridiculous. They're trying to use eminent domain to like take people's farms. It feels like a 90s kids movie where these are the bad guys, but it's real. Wow. It's so bizarre to me that this is actually happening.
Jonathan, I'm like, are you in a video game or something? I feel like your life would make a good video game like that. You're like recording events and stuff, and like slowly over time, an evil plot comes forward that you're realizing. It's
and then the corporate guys come after you.
Yeah.
I hope not.
You have to go get the magic bears to help you.
I'd love some magic bears.
Yeah, like they need magic bears. We need the magic bears more than ever now.
Like coming to your house to critique your music tastes.
I mean, if they could take care of the bad guys, I'd let them throw all the shade at my music taste they want.
Exactly. I would take that.
Yeah, I'd take it.
Yeah.
The magic bear can walk around me all he wants. It's fine.
As long as you make the world a better place.
Yeah.
Yes.
I feel like this recording has been a little bit of a fever dream, but that kind of matches the movie.
I was not expecting this to be a long podcast. Because as I watched, I was like, I don't know what much I can say about this because I don't have much information.
We have not gone through the points like we usually do. We're just kind of throwing things at the wall.
Yeah. It's an interesting conversation, though. I'm having fun.
I mean, I feel like half the movie is just the writers were throwing things at a wall, so this kind of just fits with that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, really. We're just inspired. Yeah, I'll say I recommend this movie. Not because it's good necessarily, just because it's interesting and
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
it's kind of fun to even like think about critically, and to even if you end up hating it, it's fun to tear it apart.
Yeah.
You know, one of those movies.
I recommend this to especially millennials. If you are a millennial and you grew up watching movies like this in the 90s, you'll probably like this, because I liked it because it was so familiar.
Yeah. It felt like something I would have loved as a kid.
Brand new nostalgia.
I didn't really love it now, but it felt like if I had seen this as a kid, I would have loved this.
Yeah.
I would have hated it, but that's okay.
Wait a minute. We're like, Jenna, what kind of movies were you watching in the 90s? If not stuff like this.
I was a very picky kid. I don't think so I probably would have hated all the stuff with the adults in this movie. Because a lot of times with the movies I've watched as a kid, I didn't like a lot of the adult subplots. Now, obviously, I enjoy that stuff a bit more. But I think there is like a skill to blending that kind of thing together.
And
I think this movie really misses it. And even as an adult, there were a lot of points where I got bored during those points. So I think as a kid, I would have hated it for that. And I think I also like really like to bond with my female main characters. What can I say? As a kid, I liked to project, and I wasn't that fond of Goldie. That said, though, she's not awful. She's just kind of like messy. Like I don't think they really like sorted out what kind of person she is.
But you didn't connect to her.
I didn't connect to her. So, yeah, that was also kind of difficult for me. But that's a personal thing. But I will say, I think, so little girl me wouldn't have liked this at all. And I think I would have been creeped out by the animals at the beginning as well. Because I would be like, are they dead?
Oh, no. Yeah, that would have been bad.
Yeah. So I don't think I would have liked this movie as a kid. But as an adult who does kind of miss 90s kids movies, thinks that this was a fever dream of a movie, and it's kind of fun to tear apart, while also kind of it had talent in it, is the interesting thing. Like there was some good bits, so it's interesting to devour as an adult. I don't think I would have liked it as a kid, though.
It is an interesting movie. I do recommend it for people who like odd, obscure movies, especially if you like odd, obscure family movies. This is definitely one you should watch.
And there were things about this that were unintentionally hilarious. That's another entertainment factor.
Yeah, I will say that too. Yeah, things I don't think they intended to be hilarious.
No, probably not.
Yeah, like I'm just thinking about they're trying to be hip with these Michael Jackson references. Like
and the meat
coming out of the
references.
Meat puppets, and it's coming out of the mouths of the three little bears, and the three bears, and that's just ridiculous. But yeah, so it's kind of funny in that way. You might find enjoyment out of how like corny it is and stuff like that.
I will say, I forgot to mention this. The Goldilocks, when it suddenly decides that it's a Goldilocks movie and to adapt the story of Goldilocks, it's strangely very faithful. I was actually kind of shocked.
Me too.
By how faithful it was.
It's faithful to the point where it didn't feel like it was faithful to this movie, but it felt too beholden to the fairy tale. Like they had
I will
to
say
do it.
I was actually kind of to the movie's detriment.
Yeah.
Because, we talked earlier, Goldie didn't seem like the kind of person to break into someone's house and do these things.
Right, exactly.
But, like, I was kind of surprised, because it pretty much ends up being a faithful retelling of the story until the bears actually get there and Spike and her bond over music. I also, can I just say, I love that the bears are apparently end up being okay with her doing that, because they bonded. Like...
Yeah.
It's a little easier to forgive since it's a little orphan girl. If it was an adult, that's a little less forgivable.
I feel like Goldie is too old. Like she's old enough to know better.
Yeah, that's a fair statement.
But anyway, back to I do think this was an interesting movie to check out. So thanks for that, Jonathan.
Yeah.
I'm glad I watched this. It reminded me of my childhood, and I appreciated that.
I had
me
the very
too.
fun moment to be like, what am I watching?
Yeah.
Which is always fun.
Yeah, this definitely felt like a movie from my childhood, even though it wasn't. But it was so perfectly encapsulating that era of movies. It just really felt like something I would have loved as a kid.
Yeah.
So highly recommended, as long as you don't go in expecting a great movie. Like,
Yes.
No. This isn't
go in
a great.
expecting an experience.
Yes.
Yeah, just watch it and let the experience wash over you, and
Yeah.
just see how you feel.
Yeah, definitely.
You might hate it. Who knows?
But you also might love it, or you might.
love
I
it.
wouldn't say I loved it, but you might. I had a good time.
I had a good time too.
Yes. Not for the reasons that the writers intended, but it
Yeah,
was still
yeah.
That is
entertaining.
kind of what's funny about it, though, is that I don't think this is how they intended it.
Yeah, exactly. And I've seen bad movies that are just not fun at all. Like, and those, like, that is not what this is. This is there are bad things about this, but there are also fun things about this.
Yeah.
I think it's the kind of bad that ends up being fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah, but there are like genuinely. That's what's really interesting about the film too. Is the genuinely interesting bits, fighting to try to make its way out of.
It's the kind of movie that it would be fun to watch, like the robots from like Mystery Science Theater 3000, like could mock while they were watching. Like,
I was thinking that this would be if there was ever like a that kind of show, but with like 90s movies, this would be a good contender.
It should be a good contender, yeah.
If Mystery Science Theater did like a kids movie spin-off, this would be one they would need to do.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, copyrights are still too prevalent for that right now. But maybe.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. Who knows? That show might not work anymore, but I would have loved that though.
Yeah.
Well, I think that is all we have to say about Goldilocks and the Three Bears. We will be back for more fairy tales in the future. But until then, do you guys want to let people know where they can find you? Eli?
Yeah, I'm mostly on Twitter at eJunkie2014, and I also have a blog called the Entertainment Junkie Blog, and you can find me there at ejunkie.blog.com.
And Jenna?
When I'm not in a magic forest, you can find me as Love Gift on YouTube for just random stuff, or Phantomwise for Alice in Wonderland content, also on YouTube.
Okay. Well, we'll see you in the future for more fairy tales.
See you soon.
Thanks for listening to Every Version Ever. If you enjoyed this episode, make sure to subscribe and follow my co-hosts as well. All of our links will be in the description below. If you'd like more podcasts like this one, all of our shows are available on YouTube as well as most podcast platforms. If you'd like to support this show, check out Johncast Media on Patreon for everything here, plus bonus and extended episodes you won't find anywhere else. We'll be back soon with another brand new episode, so thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.